Hey, top of the hour, top of the hour. Rise and shine. I pray all is well with everyone and everyone that you love. And I pray for abundant blessings for all. Okay? So, excuse my voice. My voice may be a little groggy because, like I said, top of the hour. This is more, well, I don't like saying morning because morning is sad. So, I say rise and shine. Okay? Think about it. If you're mourning somebody, right? You're sad. See, we have to watch what we say. Our words shape our lives. Our words shape us. Remember, when God created this world, it started with a word, and the word was God, and the word was with God. Okay? So your words are spells, and your words are powerful when you open your mouth. Pay mind to that. The positive and the negative things will affect your reality. Okay? So I don't choose to say good morning. I choose to say rise and shine. All right. So this is what I want to say. Okay? What I've learned over time, people say, well, you should have common sense. I learned that people don't, not everyone has common sense. Sense is not as common as you think. And that's because everybody doesn't have the same upbringing. Everybody didn't deal with the same things. And everybody wasn't taught. And even though it should be common, it depends on the upbringing and how they were molded, if this makes sense. There was a lot of people that was brought up, they were adults before their time. They were taking care of children and they were children. They were taking care of themselves and they were children. So they were living off of instinct more than common knowledge. When I hear common sense, I hear common knowledge. And that could only be the knowledge they was exposed to. Okay? You have some toxic people or parenting or parents that try to keep their children small. So they won't teach them anything. So this is why I say common knowledge and common sense is not as common depending on the background. Okay? With that being said, what I learned over time is that patience is a virtue. Because when you see people like this, of course you want to be frustrated. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? You didn't understand, or I've actually said that before, and I know people have said that to me, because my common knowledge may not be somebody else's common knowledge, and they may not understand why I'm not picking up in that area. However, I may say the same thing about them. Why are you not picking up in that particular area? Okay? So understand, as you get more into God, the fruits of the Spirit is patience and grace when it comes to people. You understand what I'm saying? And understand that what you may have been taught or would have was something that would have been your lifestyle is not someone else's lifestyle or upbringing. It's all different, even though it may be all the same, if that makes sense. Like, trauma is trauma. My trauma may not be your trauma. It may be a different trauma. However, it's trauma. Okay? However, I'm not here trying to talk about trauma. However, I am talking about mercy. And this is something that God has. God has mercy for his children. God has new beginnings for his children if this is what they receive. All right? What stops you from receiving that is how you see yourself Or you still listening to voices of the past about oneself, about who you were and what you did. We were born in sin. All of us sin at some point. All of us have done things that we were not happy about at one point in our lives. The thing about it is, when you know better, you do better. And sometimes that takes longer than it takes for other people. Okay? That's because we're individuals. In some bondages and some strongholds are deeper than others. However, we need to have grace. And grace doesn't mean be a fool and be manipulated and used and tricked. There must be self awareness about oneself and a person that you're dealing with. You should not be foolish. And you should have and pray for discernment when it's concerning others and the demons that they carry within oneself. You should never be a fool about that. However, you should carry grace and you should carry patience for one another, because everybody doesn't go through what you go through and navigate things like you navigated. However, in doing that, you pray for them. You don't take on their issue wholeheartedly, like Super Saver Ho. I didn't want to use that term, Super Saver Ho, but you understand what I'm saying. You don't want to throw on your cape and jump off the roof. Okay? However, you want to do things in wisdom and in God's wisdom and in God's timing. Okay? With that being said, remain blessed. Enjoy the rest of your day. Later.